It's Nolan. Now, before we get started, make sure y'all hitting that like button. Make sure y'all sharing it on your respective platforms. Let somebody know what we're doing today. Now, let's get into the show.
The academy pulling strategy, still in my steed. Ain't no flattery, fuck your salary, bitch, I'm a king. They can't rattle me, sit to shatter me, killing my dreams. Them bitches couldn't even straddle me, I'm the supreme god, like living alright. You niggas alright, diamond in the rough compared to Moisturize. I do this for them Garvey ice, Swiss Army knife, I do it all, boy. Know some people watching me only want me to fall, boy. But I'm a Booker T, Nolan, the southern beast, flow as deep as a submarine. Haters clocking and count streams. I used to work inside a kitchen, dog, you think I'm tripping? Imagine using your opinions just to make a living. Mix it with my educated expertise, yes indeed. Niggas that wouldn't say I'm next trying to get next to me. My homies used to rock a vest inside them SUVs. From sous chef to sharing recipes. My nigga plotting on the mill, I give them something to feel, yeah. My foundation is strong enough I could build her. Groundbreaking the promise to keep it trill, nigga. Everything that I want I'm bound to fulfill. Ayy, plotting on the mill, I give them something to feel, yeah. My foundation is strong enough I could build her. Groundbreaking the promise to keep it trill, nigga. Everything that I want I'm bound to fulfill, ayy.
What's going on, beautiful people? It's the kid J Nolan here. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Industry, your number one source for music, entertainment, commentary, and breakdowns. Hope y'all doing well out there. In this particular show, we're going to be getting into the DJ that don't spin, trying his best to use spin tactics on Punch from TDE. Now, y'all know we've spoken quite a bit about Punch's recent tweets about the division in hip hop and it looking like, echo chambers on either side. And ultimately, there needing to be some form of unity within the culture. Not to say that everybody has to homogenize themselves into thinking the same thing, supporting the same things, or even liking the same things, but just having a certain understanding among each other, having a certain common ground, right? And we just talked the other day about how those tweets from Punch ended up putting him in a back and forth with What's the Dirt. Now it's actually escalated to the DJ that don't spin coming in and putting his input into the conversation. And once again, trying to utilize his platform to speak against TDE, Kendrick Lamar, the so-called K-bots, etc., to continue to push his own agenda. All right. Now, from what I'm seeing online, there's like a 13-minute clip. I'm not going to run the whole 13 minutes. At a certain point, he's probably going to repeat himself 100 times. So I really would rather not play the whole thing, but I will play a portion of what he has to say. And of course, I'll react from there. All right. So it states up here, DJ that don't spin reacts to TDE's Punch, pointing out a split in hip hop, noting that those who promoted the "they not like us" narrative are now discussing division. All right. So get ready for some gaslighting and bullshit. You already know what's to come.
Punch said on Twitter, bro. So TD Punch said on the 22nd, the divide in hip hop is insane. It's like two different ideologies. The battle may have been the catalyst, but I feel like it's been bubbling for a while. No matter what the topic is, you could tell clearly who falls on what side. Depending on which side is taken in the battle, the same group of people likes the same type of sports star, the same politicians, the same stance on whatever issues. It's like a social experiment, okay? And yeah, it says now he says we need unity as hip hop, okay? I ain't gonna lie to you, man. These TDE niggas, like, I feel like they're either half stupid or they're just confused. They basically give us an ideology. They're not like us. It's the biggest divisive song in history. The idea that other niggas ain't like your kind. They ain't like us. And then a year later, they're like, yo, why are there people not like us? Like, nigga, y'all been saying y'all don't, you know what I mean? Like, I've been telling you this. The idea, it's this is why I'm telling you. This is why even like again, not to get back into it, but like even my conversation with Dave Free, I was just like, there's like a lack of self-awareness here, right? Punch, who loves the idea of the song Not Like Us, a year later saying, wait, why is there an other side? Why is hip-hop so divided? Nigga, you literally champion Not Like Us. It's like when Dave Free said, yo, why is niggas doing the weird shit like mentioning people's families and... Bruv, you called a man a pedophile and said he had a daughter. Like, brother, like, these are things like it's kind of self-explanatory. Like,
this dude is on a generational run of notoriously bad takes. Like, with the Not Like Us thing. And I feel like I really shouldn't have to explain this stuff, but just for the sake of conversation, I'll humor it. But for whatever reason, it's like niggas that love Drake can't seem to understand that Not Like Us was not a blanket statement for everybody in the world. Now, others may have used the song in a lot of different contexts, competition, sports, and it is a song that's representative of like your cliques or your friend groups, or you could use it in the subcontext of many different things. They not like us. You not like us. He not like us. Get this motherfucker out of here. But on the same token, the fact that y'all internalize it in such a way when the song is really about a select group of niggas that Kendrick don't fuck with, don't like, and was actively in a battle against, and pointing out the characteristics of this group and some of the bullshit that they partake in, some of the nasty shit that they partake in. For some reason, it's like y'all have latched on to basically identify with, well, I don't have no problem with the things that these niggas do, what they represent, what's going on with them. Therefore, Not Like Us is an indictment against me. Which speaks volumes more so about you than the actual song. Because the song wasn't talking about you. It's just the fact that you's a weird ass nigga. Therefore, you feel personally convicted when you hear this song. Although it was your most fucking streamed song of the year. So you should know the song front to back. Lyric, beat, production, build up, chord progression, everything. Because you played that shit more than anything else. Right? So there's one thing there. Then you say, well, pertaining to Dave Free asks you face to face, what's up with y'all niggas doing the weird shit? What's up with you niggas bringing people's families into the mix? And you want to say Kendrick introduced the idea of bringing people's family into it by making a reference to Meet the Grrrls. Not understanding. No, you clearly understand. But you know you have a bunch of idiots that tune into you. No offense. I'm sure there's some people over there that aren't idiots that tune into them. But we're going to generalize here since we're speaking in generalizations. Can't spare no feelings with these types of people. But you know you have a bunch of idiots that tune into you. You have a bunch of idiots that follow your page on social media that are actively partaking in Not Like Us activity, trying to frame false narratives under the guise of news. But you're referring to Meet the Grrrls, where Kendrick talks about Drake's family, mother, father, son, alleged daughter, while completely ignoring that Drake was talking about Kendrick's family from the onset of the battle. After Like That came out, Drake's first move was to start aiming shots at Kendrick's fiance, wife, common law wife, whatever it is y'all want to identify her as, because I know there's going to be multiple references in the chat and in the comments about where she stands with him relationally, which I really don't care. It has nothing to do with me. As long as they're happy, they're good. But from the very first moment that we heard Push-Ups, the song starts off with a Who Kid drop. And when the Who Kid drop first hit, it was like, oh, that's hip-hop nostalgia. He's taking us back to the G-Unit mixtapes. He's doing this. And, of course, in the Family Matters video, he ended up wearing a G-Unit spinner chain and all this type of stuff. But then when you look further into it and you see that he was just really doing a setup for later to try to make this great reveal of Dave Free allegedly fathering a child with Kendrick's lady, which is completely false. There's no evidence to support it. And ever since the battle has concluded, we've seen no efforts from anybody to even investigate that further, to refute or try to legitimize it. So why is it when you have these narratives and you craft these narratives of who brought the personal shit, who brought the family shit, who brought the weird shit into the conversation, why is it that Drake always gets absolved of what he introduced into the battle? That was the whole point of Kendrick on Euphoria, saying, don't speak on the family, Crody. Right? The nigga told him multiple times in the song, in so many words, keep it above board, we could have a classy battle. You take it further, then I'm gonna be forced to take it to hell. Then when the nigga come out and take it to hell, now all of a sudden, niggas on Drake's side, the Drake fans, the people who are putting out misinformation, that are acting as his personal sirens and mouthpieces, want to, for the last year, continue to play victim as if we don't understand the chronology of how this shit played out. This nigga's pitiful, bruh.
There's nothing that's like, ooh, how did it happen? These are pretty obvious, okay? Now, I'll partially give him a little bit of agreement, where I do believe that there's other things that kind of like spurred it. I just think the battle was one of the major things. Because I agree with him that, Drake fans, they all like the same type of things outside of Drake. Like, their ideology on life. Like, people who would support Drake, their ideology on life, the type of other rappers they like, the type of things they don't.
And I find it very interesting that you use the word they, operative word they, rather than our, because you fall into that category.
Care about, and the type of things they do care about is kind of uniform. Like, they like all the same things. They like, and then the Kendrick fans, these are the woke motherfuckers, bro. Like they're super woke. So like every woke thing in history, that's them.
This nigga uses that woke word, pardon the fucking aircraft over my home and shit, but this nigga uses the word woke like it's fucking like it's garlic to a vampire or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it's supposed to hurt somebody's feelings to be called woke, which lets you know he is exactly the people that he just described in his previous statements, right? Because if you bring facts to the conversation, if you actually outline the things in which they occurred, they then want to call you woke. They then want to say, oh, you think you're smarter than everybody. Ain't nobody worried about all that shit. But clearly you're worried about that shit because you're still talking about it every day, trying to craft a new narrative every day, trying to find any angle in which you can slither in even a temporary win for the moment until somebody comes in and fact checks you all over again. Now, I understand this nigga, he does this for clicks, views, just like his his social media channels with his namesake in them, do it for clicks, views. They know they shit be wrong, but they know that they entertain a certain group of people. A certain group of people are gonna engage with it by proxy to correct misinformation, and it just continues an ongoing cycle. I understand that piece of it. But then at a certain point, it's got to be like, bro, are you really this dumb? And if you're not really this dumb, does it not get exhausting to play a character portraying themselves to be this dumb?
What's that part of Not Like Us? What's that part go? Let me see. Not like. Like when I think about like Kendrick fans, I think about this part right here. Right here. Right here. Right here. Once upon a time, all of us was right here. Once upon a time, all of us was in chains. Homie still doubled down, calling us some slaves. Atlanta was some Mecca building railroads and trains. Buried with
this nigga about to choke on the motherfucking lyrics, ain't he? What the fuck? Where you about to choke on the goddamn lyrics? You try to do an impersonation, and you finna goddamn lose all of your breath.
Me for a second, let me put y'all on game. The sellers was using like what the fuck? We don't give a fuck about that. You know what I mean? But like the K-bots, that's like their life. Like that's them. The sellers were using Tone Fo to make them richer. Fast forward 2020.
What that nigga Biggie said, make my name taste like ass when you speak it. That's what happened. That nigga started speaking them motherfucking lyrics and it got completely choked up.
Before you got the same agenda. You run to Atlanta to get a check balance. Let me break it for you. This is the real nigga challenge. Okay. So yeah, no, I agree with that. But you know, honestly, and I'll say this to Punch, this ain't gonna change, right? The only time when hip hop unites is when, first of all, hip hop has always kind of been, it's just that these are huge artists. I mean, it was just as divisive right after Tupac and Biggie stuff, and people were thinking West and East. Now, granted, it's not West and East because, you know, Drake from Toronto, but it's definitely a division among just hip hop and hip hop ideology. The only time hip hop is ever going to come back together is when hip hop start having fun again. Like, and that's the thing. We got to wait some time. It's going to pass. It's going to pass. But niggas is going to get back to let's have fun. And what happens is that everybody will want to have fun, right? Right now, both sides of this divide, there's like weirdos, right? Okay, let me just...
And one thing I do want to say, and some people may disagree with me, some people may teeter the line on this, but as somebody who's been here the entire time, has been in this culture the entire time, has been partaking in this this craft and the conversations around it for many years before I ever showed up on YouTube, I must say that I do somewhat reject the notion that hip hop is divided between exclusively Drake or Kendrick. Okay? And the reason I say that is because there's so much more to hip hop than these two people. Now, what they represent are very much more massive than just who they are. But when Kendrick wasn't here, hip hop was still going. Now, he was a very vital missing piece, but hip hop was still going. Good music was still being released. If he were to stop releasing music today, hip hop would continue to move forward. There would still be MCs that deserve respect, attention, love, support. So to make it seem like the conversation around hip hop is non-existent without the participation of Kendrick and or Drake, I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? Because this thing was never based around one person. Never in the history of hip hop has it always been contingent upon one person or surrounding around one person. Even when we've had the meteoric stars that we've had in hip hop. And viewing it through that media lens, I think is irresponsible. And it also removes, again, if you want to talk about fun, people are having a lot of fun with the clips right now. People are having a fucking joyous time with the clips. Okay? From the music to the stories to the interviews to the performance on colors to lyrical breakdowns to try to understand what it is they talking about. People are having a wonderful time with clips. I couldn't play Vic Mensa's latest music on my channel. Vic Mensa, his Sundiata project is fucking bar for bar one of the best projects we have this year. I would encourage anybody to, if you got $20, you know, it's not a cheap EP, but it's worth it. You know what I'm saying? I think you can name your price, but I think it does require a minimum $20 commitment. But you can check it out for yourself. Sundiata, Vic Mensa. The guy who's center stage in this video, Ray Vaughn. This is a huge billboard for Ray Vaughn, by the way, for you just stopping on his face, announcing his RCA deal, and having it locked in on him for the entirety of this video as you spew out bullshit. Visit The Good, the Bad, the Dollar Menu by Ray Vaughn. You know what I'm saying? Ray Vaughn's been earning his keep all year. And prior. You know what I'm saying? Ray Vaughn's been out here for years. Mick Jenkins. I just talked about Samara Sin the other day. We still got Doechii out here. We still have Megan Thee Stallion whenever she decides she wants to come out. We have a lot of variety of different MCs and people that bring different things to the Big X the Plug is still out this motherfucker for my southern motherfuckers. Like, but there has to be more to it than either Drake or Kendrick. There's distinctive ideologies on both sides, but they are not the only thing happening in this thing. And we already know the people that hone in specifically and entirely on what it is, because I talk about them quite a bit, but I also work in my other subject matter. I always try to work in who can I put in the conversation, right? Which is why I try to do 2 to 3 videos a day. But a lot of those people are, just milking the algorithm, and just milking the subject matter for the notoriety and the profit of it. But at the same time, I don't think we should ignore the other things that are happening within this space. It's a beautiful space. And there's some bullshit out here too. There's a lot of it. But goddamn.
Point out how you're like everybody who likes Kendrick, according to them, everybody who likes Drake's a pedophile, right? So like for them, it's just like, yo, freaky ass. Like it's you just have to wait this out, bro. You wait this out. Eventually, people be tired of this bullshit. Just like right now, we hit the teetering point. Like, not like us, it's finally gonna decline. Okay, like I think we saw the last run at Toronto, right? In Toronto. And I'm like, okay, good. You got that moment. You got every other fucking moment. You got the Super Bowl moment. You got the Grammy moment. You got every fucking moment you could get with the goddamn song. It's been over a year. Now let the song gracefully die. Okay? Now it'll never die. It's one of the biggest songs ever.
You would love that.
But the sentiment, let it go. We got to let it go. And I think that's what people just have to do.
But Drake could perform back to back for 2 years straight. No problem. Don't let it die. Got it.
You just have to wait. Just gotta wait, right? Now, here's a sad part of this divide, because when I hear people say that, and I hear Punch said this one thing. He said, what did he say? He says it's been bubbling for a while, right? And he's saying the battle isn't the catalyst. Here's where I disagree with him. And this is why I give all the credit to the battle and mostly to this Kendrick Drake thing. Because also I do think there are personality types and people who have ideals about them that fall either on the Drake side and some that fall on Kendrick's side. Why I don't say this is going to be beneficial is that here's the reality of it. This divide, none of them people who have this moral high ground, the woke niggas, they don't support any other woke nigga but Kendrick. I keep telling y'all that. Like, people said, oh no, it's great. We brought lyricism back. And nobody gave a fuck about this whole little Joey Badass spanking out like 10 West Coast niggas. Like, nobody gave a fuck. You know what I mean? Like, we're not seeing.
What do you mean nobody gave a fuck? That was a very vibrant conversation. That was a very vibrant week in hip hop. Extended to about 2 weeks. That was very vibrant. It was fun. It was a great fucking time. But you chose not to participate in the conversation. Other people like you chose not to participate in the conversation because you really don't give a fuck about hip hop. Y'all should not be putting hip hop even in your vocabulary because you're not actually hip hop, which is why you don't give a fuck about when hip hop shit is going on or when artists of lesser notoriety are participating in hip hop. You don't give a fuck about them because hip hop really ain't your wheelhouse. As long as you associate yourself with what is perceivably the biggest, you can always weasel yourself into the conversation and make it look like you're a specialist in this arena. But you're really not. And you don't have any historical context of what happened 10 years ago, 20 years ago, 30 years ago in hip hop, whether you were there or not, because you motherfuckers don't, not y'all watching, but people like this nigga don't actually give a fuck about where this thing comes from, how it was derived, where it developed, how it got furthered into the lexicon of, you know, the American music sphere. You don't give a fuck about none of that stuff. And because you don't see the value of other practitioners within the space, which is why you don't give a fuck. You associate yourself with either the biggest, the most popular, or you'll tap into what you think the people that are younger than you are into. Because this guy here is in his mid-30s. If you look at the people that he panders to, they're in their early to mid-20s. He's trying to tag along with what they're into. So if it's not Drake, then it's going to be a drastic jump into the Playboy Cardis, into the Lil Yachty's, and then the whole subgenre that develops underneath them. He's going to completely surpass or bypass, I should say, anything remotely related to actual hip hop and the values that correlate with it. So, yeah, I don't even want to hear no shit further than what he has to say on this. So in summation, yes, there is a divide. And within that divide, if you're on the side of hip hop, then that means that all of us are going to have homework to do, housekeeping to do. Meaning that in order to keep this thing alive and thriving, we're going to have to be able to support other artists that need it. You know, I was confronted the other day when I did my video about UMG allegedly, you know, having some sort of plan to halt reaction channels and do all of those things. Someone was like, yo, well, why not just not react or talk about UMG artists? And I posed the question to them. I said, okay, well, if we don't, who are you going to tune in? Who is it that you are going to tune in for? If I talk about Jid's project, are you actually going to show up? If I come in here and talk to y'all about Code of the Friends' new project that's about to drop, are you going to show up? Right? when we talk about if I were to come on here and do a 30-minute conversation about Slick Rick's new album, are you gonna show up? Some of y'all will. Some of y'all, you know what I mean, y'all really fuck with me. So some of y'all actually show up for every video. But overall, we can see the difference in analytics. We can see the difference in support. We can see the difference in the stimulation of the comments. So if we want to keep hip hop alive and in healthy standing, then the buck does not stop with Kendrick. Kendrick is amazing. Kendrick deserves all of the conversation. Kendrick deserves everything that he's receiving. However, that's not the end. So, as much as I challenge the DJ that don't spin and people like him, I have to challenge everyone to stay abreast of the other great things that are happening in this space as well, in order for it to continue. All right. Let me know what y'all think of all this down below in the comments. Be sure to like and share this video. If this is your first time seeing me on YouTube, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, become an insider. I will catch y'all on the next one. Peace.
King of my city and cul-de-sac. Coming out swinging like soldier rags. Leading my people like quarterback. Boy, I study this shit, I'm an almanac. Had to get up and grind. Knowledge is booming, I'm here to apply. Came with the chip and the dip, it just single the mind. We finna do more than survive. I need my check. Spinning the block for the Gouda. We hitting the jeweler to flood out the net. We don't do beef on computers, I'm straight out the sewer. We come when you rest. Niggas be looking perplexed, so keeping my foot on their neck. No map, I trust my gut for the quest. With drama, I'm fully abreast. I was ready for years and they doubted me. All of a sudden they tell me they proud of me. I've been dropping these haters like calories. Cross them out, I came back with some boundaries. Stand for my honor, but too raw, no corner. Packing the stick with a drummer. Wanna catch my bad, won't fumble. I done came too far to be humble.